Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 10th. We're just going to jump right in here, Capricorn. You have this card that says Body and Soul, and you also have this card that says Smoke and Mirrors on it. So, let's see. Before I open my mouth, I want to see what comes up here. You have the King of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the King of Cups. Yeah, I would be careful of a past person who still watches you here, Capricorn. Every single reading I've done for you for the past, 2 months has had something about, a past person. I feel like this person really kept you in the dark, a lot of the time. So, if that part of the reading is for you, I think that this person right here, it's I feel like they were tricky. Look at this. I would be careful, Capricorn, especially, I will say we have Venus retrograde. This person could want to talk, but it's here's the unfair thing that I feel about this person. I'm sure I've said this to you before about this person, if this is for you, is that, I think everything is on their terms. It's they don't allow for other people to do things on their terms. You know what I mean? It's not, there's no fairness is what I'm trying to say here. So I would just avoid this person and F them. I don't think they deserve to be heard out. It's someone wants you to hear them out is what I feel here. And, but I don't think they deserve it. I think that maybe they've even made you wait a really long period of time. I think you're over it. I think you're moving past it, but it's maybe you haven't heard from this person for years or a year or something like that. See, you're moving on to something bigger and better. So again, if this is a person, I would not even consider it if I were you. I would let them stew, let them soak in, their own energy is what I would say, plain and simple. That last row here, this is representing the good stuff. So the Ten of Swords says that you see this as dead, done, over with. And again, this last row is going to be good no matter what. And so again, I feel like you see it as a good thing that you're moving on. He's making a symbol right here with his hands too that represents a blessing. So it's you're on to blessings, and you could even be meeting a new person. I would just be careful of this past person. It's the other annoying thing about this, intuitively, what I feel for you, Capricorn, is I think there was more than enough evidence that you two would have been good together, as in you were good to them. And so, but it's they chose not to see the evidence, So again, I think this is just someone I would avoid. For the rest of you, again, I feel like you're very focused on your finances. I felt like saying something about your finances increasing at the beginning of the reading. And so it seems to me like you're bossing up. Look, you have the King of Pentacles, King of Cups, King of Wands. So you're just missing the King of Swords. And, what I would say here is I really feel that a lot of you are doing things where you're really bossing up in business. I really felt something very good about business or career at the beginning of the reading. So it seems to me like you could be growing in career, growing in business, or it's whatever, you're very close is what I feel. So there you go. Again, you have the Three of Swords, the Page of Swords. And so I feel like this person's been spying on you since the day you left, or they left you, whichever it is, take it how it resonates. But like I said, I really feel like you're over it. I feel like you've moved on. I feel like you've made peace and you're ready to just move on to something else. I feel like you're just ready to, do something else. So I would let this go. The one part of this energy that I would embrace if I were you with the Page of Swords is being a detective right now. If you're trying to build something, or if you're trying to grow something in your life, I would, I would do as much as research as you possibly can. Let's put it that way. You could be, researching new ideas or new ways of doing things. And again, I feel like, kind of research could be very important for you. You have the King of Cups. King of Cups, of course, is a card of your emotions. He's sitting in the very deep ocean, and he's got these choppy waters all around him, but he doesn't care. He is focusing on how, controlling how he feels. He controls how he feels. External circumstances do not control his feelings. So, a lot of you could be taking back control of, your emotions or your feelings about just everything, not just love. I'm talking about, everything in your life. And I feel like this is putting you in control. So this is a good thing and not a bad thing. And again, I feel like the Smoke and Mirrors card, like I said, if this was a person you were dealing with, I think you see all the lies, all the BS. I also feel like if they didn't tell you the truth, I feel like it's that something was up. That something just wasn't quite right here, And it's I just get that feeling, this happened to me recently, within the last year. It's I had a person where it's there was always something, I was always just something just was off about the whole entire situation, right? And I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. Plus, I chose to be blind to it in the first place, right? I totally blame myself. But it's like, after, I got out of the situation with the person, it's like, then I learned some things after from somebody and it confirmed everything that I felt, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying this to air my dirty laundry. I'm saying this because it's like, I wasn't crazy, and I think that maybe you feel this way. Like maybe you're thinking like, oh, I'm making this up in my head, or I'm wrong to feel this way. You know what I mean? It's like, this person always made me feel, and I'll never let this happen again in my life. So I'm glad that it happened, right? And I'm not looking for sympathy here or anything, but it's like this person made me feel like I was crazy, or like I was, like I was wrong for feeling some of the things that I was feeling. But clearly I was right. So again, if you were in that situation, I feel like you need to trust yourself here. And normally I wouldn't talk about these things, but I don't know. I feel like it's important. So there you go. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Four of Pentacles. Again, maybe they're still holding on to you, but I would like release this situation. With the Page of Swords, I'm telling you, this person still loves you, but I feel like they screwed up big time. So, it's time for you to move forward here. Two of Cups is you and your higher self as well. You have Two of Cups twice. So again, I'm not saying this to just talk about myself here. I'm saying like, I really think people need to, this was one of those lessons where it was like, it was one of those lessons for me where I was like, man, I really should not ignore the little things. I don't think anyone should. It's like these little things that go on in relationships, they all add up to something much bigger. And I'm not talking negatively about this person. I have no negative feelings about it whatsoever or anything. I let it go, just, whatever. But, at the same time, it's like I should have paid attention. It would have saved, 3 years of my life, basically. So, what I would say here is I don't think we should look at it that way, like, oh, it's like this big loss. But, I think we have to give relationships time. But I could have saved maybe like 2 years, right? I started feeling these feelings pretty soon on. So it's like one of those things where I think this is saying like you could save yourself a lot of time. I also feel that in work or business, you need to, again, listen to yourself. I feel like you're being guided towards this right here. With the King of Cups, you have the Knight of Cups. I do feel like, of course, there's new love coming in for you, probably something better. Sometimes I think when we do have these lessons with like a person here, which it looks like you kind of have, that, we kind of have these hard lessons before we're about to meet like a really good person. So, don't give up on love. I get tons of comments, trust me, all the time, all the dramatic comments from people that are like, this person did this to me and I'm never going to have love again. I'm like, congratulations, that person is now living your life for you. So great. Now they hurt you and now they get to hurt you for the rest of your life because you're saying you're not going to have love because of them. But number two, it's like you're just saying that you can't learn. That's literally what you were saying. Because again, you are saying that I can't look at the situation. I can't see what I did. I can't see what they did. I can't see how I should have seen what they did in the first place, right? And again, it's not about blaming them or blaming yourself. It's just about seeing it. And that's what you're saying. So it's like moving forward, you should be able to see, oh, I need to watch out for these things. It doesn't mean that I can't give to the next person or anything like that. I just have to do it in balance, right? And I feel like that's what this is saying as well. It's like saying you don't have to overcorrect. I have like, there's a thing in tarot, right? Why do you think X-back readings do so well? It's because, I think that it's a tarot thing. I think that I'm not calling anyone out. I love tarot, obviously. This is what I do for a living. But, I feel like that maybe it attracts a certain type of person that's like an overgiver in relationships. Why? So how are those two things connected? Because when you overgive and you overinvest, then you automatically think that relationship is more valuable than it actually is. It's sunk cost fallacy. You overgive to a person, then you automatically think that they're more valuable than they actually are because you overinvested with the person. And so what I would say here is, like, I feel also people who watch tarot, again, not calling you out, I do this. It's not just you. I think we overcorrect. I think we get into situations with people and we go completely the other direction when someone hurts us. So again, your job is to not do that. Your job is to say, okay, I don't need to overcorrect on the next person. I just need to pay attention to what I missed or what I didn't listen to the first time. And you'll be fine if you do that. Next in the area, what you need to hear right now, you have this card that says, I deserve to receive and give love. I feel like you need to believe that. You have this card that says, my passion and visions are expansive as the sun. Yes, everybody, we are in a time in the sun, I believe, where we need to pay attention to the sun. And it's just very simple. The sun shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to through inspiration, excitement, enthusiasm. If you have any of those feelings or love even, and it doesn't have to be towards a person, it could just be the love of, whatever it is that you do in your life. If you feel those feelings, you need to do more of what attracts those feelings into your life. So like, do more things that you love to do. Do more things that bring love into your life. Do more things that make you excited and happy. If you do that, you'll be very successful. So, that's kind of like what this the energy that I get here really is, that I feel like you need to do like more things that get you excited, more things that bring joy and happiness into your world. You have the Five of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Eight of Wands. Again, I feel like this person wants to, just do this. I feel like they want to communicate. So again, I know very specific, this might only be for a few of you, but I feel like this person just repeats cycles over and over and over again. And it's almost like a serial killer, it's like this, I know this sounds messed up, but I almost feel like you could be dealing with a person where it's like they want to keep revisiting the scene of the crime. It's almost like, I don't even know if this person, if you're dealing with this person, I don't even know that they're necessarily a bad person. It's like, they might be. I'm not saying that what they did is correct or anything like that, but it's like I get this feeling of a person who just likes to revisit things. They like all the emotions, positive and negative. So, I would be very careful of that. I would encourage you to surround yourself with positive people right now. 8 of Wands is my card of socializing. I would also encourage you to surround yourself with inspiring things, like things that make you feel inspired, things that make you feel happy and joyful and abundant. This could be hobbies, activities, people, places, things, doesn't matter. But if you are stuck on this connection, again, I do feel for some of you, this could be like, karmic connection or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care. I think all the titles are ridiculous. I think the titles just get us all caught up in things that we don't need to be caught up with. Twin flame, triple flame, bullshit flame, I don't care, right? It's like, just find a good person who puts in the work. That's all you have to do, right? And, again, these titles, it's like most people, I get tons of comments from people as well that are like, oh, this person's my twin flame. I'm like, are they really? It's like, do you really think that? Probably not, right? So, I think that they just serve to keep us stuck. These titles, and it's like, who cares? It's like, if a person can't do the work, especially an adult, here's the thing, not to go on this rant here, Capricorn, but I think it's important for you because you have the 7 of Swords. It's like, here's the thing, you might say, oh, someone's a twin flame and they ran and they cheated and they did all these things, but here, let's go back to the beginning. They're a freaking adult. Chances are when you dated them, they were an adult. They knew what was right, they knew what was wrong, they chose to do what's wrong. Plain and simple. Time to move on, time to be decisive. Twin flame or not, or bullshit flame or not, who cares? So what I would say here is, if you were dealing with liar, cheater, stealer who left you out in the cold, I feel like that sun card right there is basically saying you see things clearly. You know exactly who this person is. This is who they are. It kind of reminds me of like the scorpion and the toad. The scorpion and the toad, if you don't know the story, is toad one day is going across a river and the scorpion's like, let me ride on your back. And I'm paraphrasing here, but basically the toad says, no, you're going to sting me. And then the scorpion's like, no, I'm not. And then halfway across the water, the scorpion stings the toad. And the toad's like, why did you sting me? And he says, because it's in my nature, right? There are some people where they cheat because it's in their nature. There are some people who are just pieces of shit, right? Plain and simple, right? And so I feel like you need to, maybe that's what you've had to learn, is that some people, just their nature, it's just who they are. And I feel like you need to be very careful of that and trust your intuition on people. Not even just in love, like all areas of life is kind of what I'm getting here. Again, I also feel I am getting something here about nature. Like, not, you could be going out into nature, but I feel like something about habits here. I'm kind of surprised the devil hasn't shown up in this reading. I mean, it is your card, but, I kind of feel like there's something here about, being more in your nature, or, like kind of doing things more that are kind of, that could bring more star energy into your life. We'll talk about that at the end. With the 5 of Pentacles, you have the Fool. Yep, definitely time for a new beginning. Time for you to take a leap of faith away. Funny enough, he has that little sack on his back. He kind of suggests that he's about to go on this big journey. He's about to go through the whole entire major arcana, but he has everything he needs right here, right between his 2 ears. So it's like saying to me that you're ready for a new beginning in love or business or whatever this is. And I feel like you just need to trust that you have everything here. He needs to take the leap of faith. With the 7 of Swords, you have the 2 of Wands. Yes, you have to leave a comfort zone. Again, sometimes I think overcorrection is a comfort zone. Like when we say, oh, I'm never going to date again, or, I'm going to make this next person pass all these tests. And I always say, it's like you're starting a relationship based off a test now. So it's like, how do you think that relationship is going to go? And again, I promise you, I don't care what anyone says. Trust me, I get tons of lonely ladies and men that leave comments that are like, yeah, but I've been hurt, so I have to make them pass these tests. And, anyone that deserves me has to pass these tests. I'm like, guarantee you're going to be single for a very long time. This is why I'm starting chrisscatfood.com. People think I'm joking. I am dead effing serious. chrisscatfood.com coming soon, right? For all the people that want to make people pass tests. You have to be better at deciding and seeing like what people, what they bring to the table, so to speak. Although I hate that when people say that. Number 1. But number 2, it's like, again, if you have to look at how you're starting something. If you're starting it, making someone pass all these tests, it's like the type of person who'd be willing to pass the test in the first place is probably not the type of person you'd want to be with in the first place. Again, most people, it's like, I'm super successful, right? I'm not saying this to brag, but I got money, everything you could ever want, right? It's like a person tests me, I'm gone. I don't even bother, right? So, I think that I'm, as far as like, and I have plenty of friends in business that are very successful and they're very desirable. And it's like, they wouldn't put up with it in an instant, like for a second, right? So it's like, if you want someone who's successful, it's like they're probably, and I'm not even talking about men, women, whatever, they're probably not going to pass the test is what I'm trying to say. They're probably like, no, I have better things to do with my time. I do. It's like, I have like multiple businesses I have to work on every single day. I don't have time to like, pass tests and things like that. With the Eight of Wands, you have the King of Cups. Yes, definitely could be someone new coming in for you here. Much more loving, much more caring, much more emotionally available, much more like all the good stuff here, Capricorn. So there you go. Next, you have this leap card. We're looking at the unexpected. You have this leap card. It says, you go first. The universe will catch you. You have this card that says, Min Takan, something like that. It says, longing for home, belonging, the original light worker. You have this boundaries card. It says, where do you need to establish better boundaries? Yes, see, there you go. Maybe you need to establish better boundaries. And again, a boundary can be like you start dating a person, you don't rush, but it's like maybe they do certain things that cross your boundary. You say it to them, hey, you crossed a boundary. You open your mouth, right, and you say it. And if they do it again, then you leave. Plain and simple. That's all the evidence you need. So, I would pay attention to that stuff and make sure that you are kind of like, kind of sticking up for yourself in a lot of ways, especially in love situations. And there's definitely some sort of leap. You have the Fool here. It says, you go first. The universe will catch you. I feel like you could be taking a leap on something that your higher self is calling you to with the Two of Cups star right here. You have the Seven of Cups and the King of Wands. Two of Cups definitely could be love. So again, it could be you taking the risk of allowing love into your life, of course, or having love. But I feel like this is something bigger because of that star card that's showing up next. Again, Two of Cups is like you communicating with your higher self. So, you could be having dreams or daydreams. But again, I also feel that we are in a time where we could be being led by inspirations, excitement, enthusiasm, like all those things. And I feel like you need to trust those feelings. Like, if you feel excited about some idea that you have for like a business or a new career direction, or it could even be like something you want to do to like improve your health, I would get excited. I would keep getting excited, and then I would make it happen with the star card. Again, this is showing up in the good stuff. So, I think the star is a good card in general, but, it's like extra good in the good stuff. So I feel like you need to move in that direction. And it also would suggest you're healing from something as well. You have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is like kind of being spoiled for choice. So I do feel like you have a lot of more options than you realize, not just in love, but in life in general. And I was getting something about like your nature or like your environment. I feel that there are a lot of things you could do that could change your nature, like who you are, but these could be like activities or habits or like new habits that you're developing. If you're thinking about doing any of that type of like personal development work, I think for whatever reason, I don't know, I think this reading is talking about you doing that. Or you could be noticing things in other people's nature and you're just like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like something else. And I feel you could be making those changes. This is a pretty deep reading. I think that with the King of Cups twice, King of Cups is like very deep. He's sitting in the deep ocean. So I feel like there's a lot of, deep exploration going on here on your part. You could be talking to yourself about a lot of deep subjects. Like we kind of went deep here in this reading in the first place. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. So you might just be examining stuff. You have the King of Wands here. King of Wands about being bold, being assertive. He's also like the true entrepreneur of the tarot. I would say like, I think if you're working on anything, just projects, businesses, whatever, I would, treat things as if they were a baby. I would really, it's a card of really, he really, really nurtures the things that he cares about into existence. He really kind of like puts in the work to make something successful, whether it's a relationship, a business, a health routine. He really gives it a good effort. And I kind of feel that for you here, Capricorn, where it's like there are going to be things that make you feel good. So I would make sure to give those things like a really solid effort here. Let's see. With the Two of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands here. Could be a fire sign coming in for some of you. It wouldn't surprise me. I think you've been getting fire with me for a long time. Could be a water sign as well. Could be any sign. I mean, you have everything here. So could be any sign. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Five of Wands, conflict and competition. Again, there was something here. This is why I was ranting like a couple of seconds ago, because I feel like there's something here about being afraid of that something is going to cause conflict. But it's almost like I feel like you need to go. I kept saying you need to go back to the beginning, but it's almost like it's more like saying you could skip over all of that. But also, I believe that energetically we create our own reality, and I think we can do things that cause problems. Like I said, like making people pass tests or like entering into a relationship and holding back because of something a past person did. And again, people always say, well, I have to because I'm like, no, you need to go to therapy. And again, not a criticism. I fully support healing, going to therapy, doing those things. Because again, if you feel the need to heal, to hold back, then there's something that needs to be healed. And what I would say here is like, here you go, star, healing. And it's like, how is it fair to a new person who's never done anything for you or to you or for you, either way, how is it fair that they should be in a situation where you're holding back, for example, right? I'm not calling you out here. I've done it. So it's like, I am definitely guilty of this, right? But it's like, I've done the work. I've done the things that need to be done to make sure I don't do it again, right? Because I see that it's not fair as well. So I kind of feel like this is saying, it's like, don't overgive in any new situations and you'll be fine, number one. But also number two, it's like, how can you cut out the thing in the middle, right? I don't know. With the King of Cups, the King of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Definitely could be communication coming in from a person. So, if you're looking for love, I feel like this could be a person who's communicating with you. I also feel that there is, you have this Star card, which I can't stop focusing on in your reading, which is great. I feel like for a lot of you that you could be building or starting to build something really important in your life. You have this card that says, all paths lead home. This is coming up in the good stuff. It says, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. I mean, basically, this whole entire reading has been saying, look at yourself, right? Now, you have this great severing card. It says, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Yes, maybe you were angry at a person, but now you're starting to kind of let it go, which is great. That's when you know you've truly been healed. But again, I think it's funny that this card says, turn your gaze within. It's like this whole entire reading, I feel, is about you kind of like healing yourself, which we see with the Star card, because the Star card is a great healing. You have the Ten of Swords and the Six of Cups here. Yeah, there's no doubt that you could have really been stabbed in the back, by a person. But, again, this is coming up in the good stuff. So maybe you're seeing the blessing in the situation, or maybe you're seeing how you're kind of like getting a blessing coming in for you with the Star card. I would also say that, showing up in the good stuff, it doesn't matter if this is love or business or whatever. I feel like you're ready for a new beginning, or you're just like ready to start something new in your life. And I feel pretty good about that with the Ten of Swords. You have the Star. The Star, again, comes up. You've definitely had a tower moment in your life. Doesn't matter if it's love or something else. I feel like you've had a tower moment. And this could be saying that you're kind of like ready for a new beginning, or you're just like ready for something new in your life. And, I kind of feel that feeling here, where you could just be kind of, focusing on something new. I also feel like you're starting to see that things in your life are possible. I also feel like you're focusing on the right things. It's like I always say, like, I think sometimes people think like, they focus on the wrong issue, right? It's like sometimes people think like, oh, if I just had money, it would solve all these problems. But really, it's like they need to fix the money blocks inside themselves first before they have money, and then they'll have money, and then they will solve all their problems. So it's not, it's like I think sometimes people think like, oh, my problem is money, not having money, but really it's something else, right? And I don't know, it's popping into my head that, I don't know, this is a weird reading. It's deep, like I said, Capricorn, but definitely a weird reading. I feel like it's like you are actually getting to like the core issues, in your life, or the things that are really have held you back for a long time. I feel like you're really getting to that, to like the core issue. And again, this is probably solving all your problems. Not maybe all of them, but a lot of them. You have the Six of Cups here. Again, I feel like you want happiness. And again, I do feel there could be a person coming in for you that's going to bring happiness. Again, I always say with the Six of Cups, do not go back to the past. To me, even in the book for the Golden Tarot, for example, the Six of Cups very specifically says, do not go back to the past. So I know everyone and their mother reads this as their ex coming back, but that's not really what it means. And, for the most part, it is a card of a soulmate. So I do feel there could be like a new soulmate coming in for you. Just make sure not to punish this person, for a past person's mistakes is what I would say. With the Star, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yep, putting in the work. Eight of Pentacles is literally my card of personal development, other than the Strength card. But I feel like you're putting a lot of work into yourself and into things in your life that matter. And that's just going to lead to a lot more success. I also feel, again, like this reading is more about yourself, I don't really think it's about anything. It's like about you, your inner world, like that other card said. And, it looks good. I think money looks really good for you as well. With the Ten of Swords, you have the King of Wands. So, we have multiple kings repeating themselves here. King of Wands, King of Cups repeating itself as well. So it could be a fire sign coming for you. It could also be your boldness, your ability to move forward. Sometimes I feel like the star can represent how other people see you. And so I feel like other people can see you, are seeing you as like unstoppable right now. The King One's very bold, very assertive. It doesn't matter, and I feel like maybe people thought you were like dead, with that Ten of Swords. Like maybe people in your life thought you were like, that you were beaten down, but I feel like you are really kind of like showing people how successful you can become. So pretty powerful. And this doesn't have to be love. Again, maybe people thought there's no way you would come back from a business loss or something like that. I get that popping into my head. With the Six of Cups, you have the Moon. Yeah, definitely been a long journey. Again, this is coming up in the good stuff, so this would tell me that you're leaving behind a moon period and you're stepping into light. You have that kind of sun card there. So that card says, my passions and visions are expansive as the sun. I feel like you need to move towards your passions and your visions. That's going to pull you out of a moon period. Again, a moon period is like a period of darkness, confusion, not being sure like what direction to take in life, not being, feeling like you don't have answers, right? And so that's kind of like what I feel there. We're going to pull 5 main themes. You have this card, time to get out of a situation. Yes, if you're still dealing with this person, definitely time to get out of it. I can see every single card here, and it's like every single one is talking about this situation. You have this Fox. It says shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Yeah, it's definitely, I really feel for those of you in work or business, it's like things are definitely going to be on fire for you. I see a lot of success coming in those areas of your life. You have this haystack. It says karma. You will reap what you have sown. I feel like there's positive karma coming in for you. It seems to be a time of karma. Did you have? No. Almost everyone, except for you, because I'm trying to prove a point here, has had the Justice card this week. So, it seems to me like there could be some karmic payback here in a good way. You have this Forest. It says muddled, unclear thinking. I think this is thinking external. I think if you could just, really, I'm encouraging you to be selfish this week here, Capricorn. Like if you could just think about yourself and how you can make yourself the best version of yourself, I think that's all you need to think about. It's like, I think if you start thinking about, what's going wrong and, all these other things in life, it's just going to hold you back. So, I would keep it clear. You have this frying pan card. It says trouble, accusations on it. Can we get a clarity card on this? It says leg, stepping into a new experience. I kind of feel like a past person, I would just be careful of a past person trying to trigger you. Maybe they come at you accusing you of like things, it's like they clearly want to talk, but this is clearly also not a direct person. So they might come in accusing you of the things they did just to try to trigger you. So I would ignore it. I feel like they see you moving on. I feel like that leg card is saying you're stepping into a new experience. You're stepping into something new and they can sense it. So I would be careful of that. Pretty weird reading. Definitely let me know. But there you go. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.